Do you want to successfully complete the CompTIA A plus Core 0-1 exam? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to MyITCerts.com, where thousands of students have found their path to exam success. Our website provides completely free access to over 300 practice questions with detailed explanations and comprehensive study guides covering every exam objective. Everything you need for success on your first attempt for free. In this video, we will cover questions from mobile devices, networking, hardware, virtualization, troubleshooting. So, let's get started. 1. A technician needs to set up a laptop for a remote worker who will be traveling frequently, but needs to connect multiple peripherals when at their desk. Which of the following devices would best meet this requirement while minimizing the number of connections the user needs to make? A. USB hub. B. Port replicator. C. Docking station. D. Power over Ethernet injector. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Docking station. Explanation. Option C is correct because a docking station is specifically designed to connect multiple peripherals, monitors, keyboards, network, etc., to a laptop with a single connection, making it ideal for users who frequently connect and disconnect from a workstation setup. Option A, USB hub, is incorrect because while it allows connecting multiple USB devices, it doesn't support other connections, like external monitors or network connections that a remote worker would need. Option B, port replicator, is incorrect because while similar to a docking station, it typically provides fewer connection options and less functionality than a full docking station. Option D, power over Ethernet injector, is incorrect because this device is used to supply power to network devices over Ethernet cables and isn't related to connecting peripherals to a laptop. Two. A technician is troubleshooting a system with sluggish performance. The computer takes a long time to boot, and applications are slow to open. When checking the system, the technician notices a grinding noise coming from inside the case. Which of the following components is most likely failing? A. CPU. B. RAM. C. Hard disk drive. D. Power supply. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Hard disk drive. Explanation. Option C is correct because grinding noises from inside a computer case are a classic symptom of a failing mechanical hard disk drive, HDD. This, combined with slow boot times and sluggish application performance, strongly indicates HDD failure. Option A, CPU, is incorrect because CPU failures typically cause system crashes, freezes, or failure to boot rather than grinding noises. CPUs have no moving parts that could create grinding sounds. Option B, RAM, is incorrect because while bad RAM can cause sluggish performance, it doesn't produce grinding noises since it has no moving parts. Option D, power supply, is incorrect because while power supplies contain fans that can make noise, they typically produce buzzing or whining sounds rather than grinding noises. Power supply issues also commonly cause system shutdowns or failure to power on. 3. A designer is reporting that their tablet screen appears to have different colors when viewed from different angles, making it difficult to work on precise color matching tasks. The tablet is an older, budget-friendly model. Which display technology is most likely causing this viewing angle issue? A. OLED display. B. IPS LCD display. C. TN LCD display. D. VA LCD display. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. TN LCD display. Explanation. Option C is correct because TN, twisted pneumatic, LCD panels are known for their poor viewing angles, which cause colors to shift or invert when viewed from the sides or top-bottom. This is especially common in older, budget devices, as TN panels are the least expensive display technology. Option A, OLED display, is incorrect because OLED displays provide excellent viewing angles with minimal color shifting, which would not cause the described issue. Option B, IPS LCD display, is incorrect because IPS panels are specifically designed to provide wide viewing angles with consistent colors from any direction, making them ideal for design work. Option D, VA LCD display, is incorrect because while VA panels don't have quite as good viewing angles as IPS panels, they still offer decent viewing angles that wouldn't cause significant color shifting, like TN panels. 4. A technician needs to replace the screen on a high-end smartphone that has perfect blacks and vibrant colors, even in low-light conditions. During the repair, they notice the display is extremely thin and doesn't have a separate backlight component. Which type of display technology is the technician working with? A. TN LCD, B. IPS LCD, C. VA LCD, D. OLED. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, D. OLED. Explanation. Option D is correct because OLED, organic light-emitting diode, displays are characterized by their perfect blacks, vibrant colors, and ability to emit their own light without requiring a backlight component. This makes them thinner than LCD displays and capable of showing true blacks by simply turning pixels off. Option A, TN LCD, is incorrect because TN panels require backlights, have poor black levels, and typically provide less vibrant colors than OLED displays. Option B, IPS LCD, is incorrect because while IPS panels have good color reproduction, they still require a backlight and cannot produce the perfect blacks described in the scenario. Option C, VA LCD, is incorrect because although VA panels have better contrast ratios than other LCD types, they still use a backlight and cannot achieve the true blacks that OLED displays can. 5. A graphic designer frequently works between their office desk and client locations. They need to connect their USB-C laptop to dual monitors, wired internet, and several USB peripherals when at their desk, but easily disconnect to take the laptop to client meetings. Which solution would best meet their needs? A. USB hub, B. Port replicator, C. Docking station, D. Bluetooth adapter. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Docking station. Explanation. Option C is correct because a docking station provides a comprehensive solution for connecting multiple peripherals, dual monitors, Ethernet, USB devices, through a single connection point. Docking stations typically deliver power to the laptop and support multiple display outputs, allowing the designer to quickly connect and disconnect all peripherals with one cable when moving between office and client locations. Option A, USB hub, is incorrect because a basic USB hub wouldn't support multiple monitors or Ethernet connections and might not provide power delivery to charge the laptop. Option B, port replicator, is incorrect because while it would add more ports, port replicators are generally simpler devices that may not support dual monitors or provide power delivery, which are key requirements for the designer's workflow. Option D, Bluetooth adapter, is incorrect because Bluetooth is a wireless technology that wouldn't support wired connections like Ethernet or external monitors, making it unsuitable for this scenario. 6. A technician is assisting a customer who wants to draw detailed illustrations on their tablet. The customer complains that their current stylus doesn't allow for different line thicknesses based on how hard they press. Which type of stylus should the technician recommend? A. Passive capacitive stylus. B. Active powered stylus. C. Rubber-tipped stylus. D. Universal touch pen. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Active powered stylus. Explanation. Option B is correct because active powered styluses, like Apple Pencil or Samsung S Pen, include electronic components that enable pressure sensitivity, allowing artists to create thicker or thinner lines based on how hard they press on the screen. This is essential for detailed illustration work. Option A, passive capacitive stylus, is incorrect because these basic styluses simply mimic a finger touch and don't offer pressure, sensitivity, or advanced features needed for detailed drawing. Option C, rubber-tipped stylus, is incorrect because this is just another term for a basic passive stylus that doesn't offer pressure sensitivity. Option D, universal touch pen, is incorrect because universal typically indicates a basic passive stylus designed to work with any touchscreen, without advanced features like pressure sensitivity. 7. A business traveler frequently visits countries in Europe and Asia. They need to ensure their mobile phone will work internationally with minimal configuration. Which of the following cellular technologies would best meet this requirement? A. CDMA. B. GSM. C. 5G memwave. D. 3G EVDO. What do you think is the answer? Correct. Answer B. GSM. Explanation. Option B is correct because GSM, Global System for Mobile Communications, is the international standard used by approximately 90% of carriers worldwide. GSM phones use SIM cards, making them easily compatible with local carriers in most countries. Option A, CDMA, is incorrect because CDMA is primarily used in the United States by carriers like Verizon and the former Sprint, with limited international coverage. CDMA phones typically have compatibility issues when traveling internationally. Option C, 5G mmWave, is incorrect because while 5G is becoming more common, mmWave specifically has extremely limited coverage, even in countries where it's deployed. It also doesn't address the fundamental network compatibility needed for international travel. Option D, 3G EVDO, is incorrect because EVDO is a CDMA-based 3G technology with the same international compatibility limitations as CDMA. Additionally, many countries are phasing out 3G networks in favor of newer technologies. 8. A user is experiencing poor cellular reception inside their office building. They need to make important calls, but don't want to miss any emails or messages during the calls. Which of the following would be the most appropriate solution? A. Enable airplane mode and use the office Wi-Fi. B. Update the PRL on the device. C. Switch the phone to use Wi-Fi calling. D. Change the cellular network from 5G to 3G. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Switch the phone to use Wi-Fi calling. Explanation. Option C is correct because Wi-Fi calling allows the user to make and receive phone calls over a Wi-Fi connection instead of the cellular network. This solves the poor reception problem while keeping the phone connected to receive emails and messages. The phone will route calls through the Wi-Fi network rather than relying on cellular signal. Option A, enable airplane mode and use the office Wi-Fi, is incorrect because enabling airplane mode disables the cellular radio completely. While you could use Wi-Fi for data, you wouldn't be able to receive standard SMS messages or phone calls through the carrier network. Option B, update the PRL on the device, is incorrect because while updating the preferred roaming list might help CDMA devices find better towers, it won't significantly improve reception if the building itself is blocking cellular signals. Option D, change the cellular network from 5G to 3G, is incorrect because while lower frequencies sometimes penetrate buildings better, changing to 3G would likely reduce data speeds without necessarily improving voice call quality enough to solve the issue. 3G networks are also being phased out in many regions. 9. A small business owner wants to implement a secure method for employees to remotely transfer files to and from the company server. The owner is concerned about data security and doesn't want login credentials transmitted in plain text. Which protocol and port would best meet these requirements? A. FTP on ports 20 and 21. B. SSH on port 22. C. Telnet on port 23. D. SMTP on port 25. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. SSH on port 22. Explanation. Option B is correct because SSH, Secure Shell, on port 22 provides encrypted file transfer capabilities through SFTP, SSH File Transfer Protocol, which ensures that login credentials and file data are securely transmitted. SSH is specifically designed for secure remote access and file transfers. Option A, FTP on ports 20 and 21, is incorrect because standard FTP transmits data and credentials in plain text, making it vulnerable to eavesdropping and credential theft, which doesn't meet the security requirements specified. Option C, Telnet on port 23, is incorrect because Telnet also transmits data in plain text without encryption, making it even less secure than FTP for file transfers. Option D, SMTP on port 25, is incorrect because SMTP is used for sending email messages between servers, not for interactive file transfers between users and servers. 10. A network administrator notices that a company website is accessible internally, but external customers report they cannot connect. The website uses standard security practices and requires secure connections. Which firewall port would most likely need to be opened to resolve this issue? A. Port 80. B. Port 443. C. Port 25. D. Port 53. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Port 443. Explanation. Option B is correct because port 443 is used for HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, which is the standard protocol for secure website connections. Since the scenario mentions standard security practices and secure connections, HTTPS would be the appropriate protocol. Option A, port 80, is incorrect because although this port is used for HTTP, the scenario specifically mentions secure connections, which would require HTTPS on port 443 rather than unencrypted HTTP. Option C, port 25, is incorrect because this port is used for SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which handles email transmission between mail servers, not web traffic. Option D, port 53, is incorrect because this port is used for DNS, Domain Name System, which translates domain names to IP addresses. While DNS is necessary for website functionality, the issue described is about connection to the web server, not name resolution. 11. A small business wants to set up surveillance cameras throughout their facility, including several locations where power outlets are not readily available. The cameras need to connect to the network for monitoring. Which of the following would be the most efficient solution for this setup? A. Wireless access points near each camera. B. PoE switch with appropriate cameras. C. Cable modem with multiple ports. D. Unmanaged switch with power adapters. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. PoE switch with appropriate cameras. Explanation. Option B is correct because a Power over Ethernet (PoE) switch can deliver both network connectivity and electrical power over a single Ethernet cable to compatible devices like IP cameras. This eliminates the need for separate power outlets at each camera location, making installation much simpler in areas without readily available power. Option A, wireless access points near each camera, is incorrect because while this would solve the network connectivity issue, it wouldn't address the power problem since access points themselves need power, and the cameras would still need their own power source. Option C, cable modem with multiple ports, is incorrect because a cable modem connects to an internet service provider using coaxial cable and doesn't typically provide power to connected devices. It's also not designed for connecting multiple surveillance cameras on a local network. Option D, unmanaged switch with power adapters, is incorrect because this would still require power outlets at each camera location for the power adapters, which doesn't solve the original problem of limited power outlet availability. 12. A network administrator needs to implement a solution that will allow for the creation of separate virtual networks on the same physical infrastructure. Multiple departments need to have their traffic isolated from each other for security reasons. Which of the following devices would best meet this requirement? A. Unmanaged switch. B. Hub. C. Managed switch. D. Wireless access point. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Managed switch. Explanation. Option C is correct because a managed switch supports the creation of VLANs, virtual local area networks, which allow traffic to be logically separated on the same physical network infrastructure. This provides the security isolation required between departments while using the same physical switch. Option A, unmanaged switch, is incorrect because unmanaged switches are simple plug-and-play devices that lack configuration capabilities, including the ability to create VLANs. They cannot separate traffic between different departments. Option B, hub, is incorrect because hubs are outdated devices that simply broadcast all traffic to all connected devices. Not only do they lack VLAN capabilities, but they also create a shared collision domain, making them very inefficient and insecure for department isolation. Option D, and wireless access point, is incorrect because while some advanced access points support multiple SSIDs, they primarily provide wireless connectivity and don't typically handle the core network segmentation required for isolating department traffic across the entire network. 13. A network technician is configuring 3 wireless access points to provide coverage throughout a single-floor office space. All access points will broadcast on the 2.4 GHz band. Which of the following channel configurations would best minimize interference between the access points? A. Channels 1, 2, and 3. B. Channels 1, 6, and 11. C. Channels 5, 6, and 7. D. Channels 9, 10, and 11. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Channels 1, 6, and 11. Explanation. Option B is correct because channels 1, 6, and 11 are the only 3 non-overlapping channels in the 2.4 GHz band. Using these 3 channels for adjacent access points minimizes interference. Because each operates on a frequency range, that doesn't overlap with the others. Option A, channels 1, 2, and 3, is incorrect because these channels overlap significantly. Channel 1 overlaps with Channel 2, and Channel 2 overlaps with Channel 3, creating interference between adjacent access points. Option C, channels 5, 6, and 7, is incorrect because these are consecutive channels that overlap with each other. Each 2.4 GHz channel is 20 MHz wide, but only separated by 5 MHz, causing adjacent channels to overlap. Option D, channels 9, 10, and 11, is incorrect because while channel 11 doesn't overlap with channels below 7, channels 9 and 10 overlap with each other, and with channel 11 creating unnecessary interference. (14) A small business is setting up a wireless network in their office, which has thick concrete walls between rooms. They need consistent coverage throughout the building and have a mix of older and newer devices. Which wireless frequency would be most appropriate for this environment? A, 900 MHz, B, 2.4 GHz, C, 5 GHz, D, 60 GHz. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B, 2.4 GHz. Explanation: option B is correct because the 2.4 GHz frequency offers better penetration through solid obstacles, like thick concrete walls compared to higher frequencies. Additionally, 2.4 GHz ensures compatibility with older devices that might not support 5 GHz connectivity. Option A, 900 MHz, is incorrect because while this frequency has excellent penetration abilities, it's not a standard Wi-Fi frequency and would require specialized equipment, not typically used in small business Wi-Fi deployments. Option C, 5 GHz, is incorrect because 5 GHz signals have significantly poorer wall penetration compared to 2.4 GHz, which would result in inconsistent coverage in a building with thick concrete walls. While 5 GHz offers faster speeds, the scenario prioritizes consistent coverage throughout the building. Option D, 60 GHz, is incorrect because this extremely high frequency, used in technologies like WiGig, has very poor penetration capabilities and requires line of sight. It would be completely unsuitable for an environment with thick concrete walls. 15. A user reports that they can ping a website's IP address successfully, but cannot access it by typing the domain name in their browser. Which of the following network services is most likely experiencing issues? A, DHCP server, B, DNS server, C, web server, D, proxy server. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B, DNS server. Explanation: option B is correct because the domain name system, DNS, is responsible for translating domain names, like www.example.com, into IP addresses that computers can understand. If a user can reach a website by its IP address, but not by its domain name, this indicates a DNS resolution problem. Either the DNS server is unavailable, misconfigured, or the local DNS cache contains incorrect information. Option A, DHCP server, is incorrect because if there was a DHCP issue, the computer would likely have connectivity problems entirely, or would have an IPA address, 169.254, XX. Since the user can successfully ping an IP address, the computer has a valid IP configuration. Option C, web server, is incorrect because the user can successfully reach the web server when using its IP address, indicating that the web server itself is functioning correctly. Option D, proxy server, is incorrect because while proxy issues can prevent web access, they typically affect both domain name and IP address access. Since the user can access the site via IP address, the proxy is likely working correctly. 16. A small business wants to implement a solution that will automatically assign IP addresses to devices when they connect to the network. Which network service should they implement? A. DNS, B. DHCP, C. CAAA, D. Syslog. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. DHCP. Explanation. Option B is correct because Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, DHCP, is specifically designed to automatically assign IP addresses and other network configuration information. Subnet mask, default gateway, DNS servers, to devices when they connect to a network. This eliminates the need for manual configuration of each device. Option A, DNS, is incorrect because Domain Name System translates domain names to IP addresses, but doesn't assign IP addresses to devices. Option C, AAA, is incorrect because authentication, authorization, and accounting is a security framework for controlling access to network resources, not for assigning IP addresses. Option D, Syslog, is incorrect because Syslog is a standard for message logging, collecting log data from different devices and applications into a central location, not for IP address assignment. 17. A small office has just set up a new network. A technician notices that several computers have IP addresses that begin with 169.254. The network router is configured with an IP address of 192.168.1.1. What is the most likely cause of this issue? A. The computers are configured with a static IPv6 address. B. The DHCP server on the router is not functioning. C. The computers are using the wrong subnet mask. D. IPv4 to IPv6 tunneling is misconfigured. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. The DHCP server on the router is not functioning. Explanation. Option B is correct because IP addresses beginning with 169.2544 indicate that APIPA, automatic private IP addressing, is being used. APIPA assigns addresses in the 169.254 XDEX range when a computer is configured for DHCP but cannot contact a DHCP server. This suggests that the DHCP service on the router, which would normally assign addresses in the 168.1 X range, is not functioning properly. Option A, the computers are configured with a static IPv6 address, is incorrect because 169.2544. XDEX addresses are IPv4 addresses, not IPv6. IPv6 addresses contain colons and hexadecimal digits. Option C, the computers are using the wrong subnet mask, is incorrect because subnet mask issues would not result in addresses from a completely different range, 169.254, XDEX versus 192, 168.1, hex. If devices had the wrong subnet mask, they might be able to receive DHCP addresses, but would have connectivity problems. Option D, IPv4 to IPv6 tunneling is misconfigured, is incorrect because tunneling problems would not cause devices to receive APIPA addresses, and the symptoms don't indicate any IPv6 involvement. (18) A network administrator needs to configure a printer that will be shared by multiple users in a small office. The printer should maintain the same IP address at all times for reliable access. Which of the following addressing methods would be most appropriate? A. Dynamic IP addressing through DHCP. B. Static IP addressing. C. APIPA addressing. D. Link local IPv6 addressing. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Static IP addressing. Explanation. Option B is correct because static IP addressing is the most appropriate method for network devices that need to maintain the same IPA address consistently, such as shared printers. By manually configuring a static IPA address, the printer will always be found at the same address by all devices on the network, making it more reliable and easier to manage. Option A, dynamic IP addressing through DHCP, is incorrect because DHCP assigns addresses that could potentially change when leases expire or if the network is reconfigured, which could cause connectivity issues for a shared resource like a printer. Option C, a PIPA addressing, is incorrect because a PIPA is a fallback mechanism when DHCP fails, assigning addresses in the 169.254 XDAX range that do not provide connectivity beyond the local network segment. This would not be appropriate for a shared network printer. Option D, link local IPv6 addressing, is incorrect because link local addresses, beginning with FE80, are automatically configured and, like a PIPA, only provide connectivity on the local network segment. They are not manually configurable for stability and aren't ideal for shared resources. 19. A company wants to ensure that other mail servers can verify their outgoing emails haven't been altered in transit. Which of the following should they implement? A. SPF record. B. DKIM record. C. DMARC record. D. MX record. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. DKIM record. Explanation. Option B is correct because DKIM, Domain Keys Identified Mail, adds a digital signature to outgoing emails, which allows receiving mail servers to verify that emails are genuinely from the claimed domain and haven't been altered during transit. DKIM uses cryptographic authentication through public and private keys. Option A, SPF record, is incorrect because SPF, Sender Policy Framework, specifies which mail servers are authorized to send email on behalf of a domain, but it doesn't verify if the email content has been altered during transit. Option C, DMARC record, is incorrect because DMARC, Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting and Conformance, builds on SPF and DKIM by defining policies for handling authentication failures and providing reporting, but it doesn't directly provide the digital signature verification that prevents email alteration. Option D, MX record, is incorrect because MX, Mail Exchanger, records simply direct email to the appropriate mail servers for a domain, but don't provide any authentication or verification mechanisms to detect alterations. 20. A network administrator wants to ensure that specific printers in the office always receive the same IP addresses from the DHCP server. Which DHCP concept should be implemented? A. DHCP scope. B. DHCP lease. C. DHCP reservation. D. DHCP exclusion. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. DHCP reservation. Explanation. Option C is correct because DHCP reservation associates a specific MAC address with a specific IP address, ensuring that the device, in this case, a printer, always receives the same IP address from the DHCP server. This provides the consistency of static IP addressing with the management benefits of DHCP. Option A, DHCP scope, is incorrect because a DHCP scope is simply the range of IP addresses that a DHCP server can assign to devices. While necessary for DHCP operation, it doesn't ensure specific devices receive consistent IP addresses. Option B, DHCP lease, is incorrect because a DHCP lease is the time period for which a device can use an assigned IP address. Adjusting lease duration doesn't guarantee the same device will receive the same IPA address when the lease is renewed. Option D, DHCP exclusion, is incorrect because DHCP exclusions define IP addresses within a scope that should not be automatically assigned. This prevents DHCP from assigning certain addresses, but doesn't ensure specific devices receive consistent IP addresses. 21. A small business is relocating to a rural area where traditional wired internet infrastructure is limited. The business requires reliable internet with at least 25 megabits per second, download speeds, and moderate latency for video conferencing. Which of the following internet connection types would best meet these requirements? A. DSL. B. Fixed wireless. WISP. C. Satellite. D. Dial-up. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer: B. Fixed wireless, WISP. Explanation: Option B is correct because fixed wireless from a wireless internet service provider, WISP, provides a good balance of speed and moderate latency for rural areas. WISPs can typically offer 25 plus Mbps speeds, with latency comparable to wired connections, 10 to 50 ms, making them suitable for video conferencing. They're specifically designed to serve areas without robust wired infrastructure. Option A, DSL, is incorrect because DSL performance degrades significantly with distance from the central office. In a rural area, the business would likely be too far from the central office to achieve the required 25 megabits per second speeds consistently. Option C, satellite, is incorrect because while satellite internet is available virtually anywhere, it has very high latency, 500 to 800 ms, which makes it poorly suited for video conferencing. The high latency would cause noticeable delays in conversation. Option D, dial-up, is incorrect because dial-up is an obsolete technology that offers extremely slow speeds, maximum of 56 kilobits per second or 0.056 megabits per second, nowhere near the 25 megabits per second requirement. 22. A large corporation has offices in several countries and needs to connect them so they function as a single network. Which network type would best describe this configuration? A. LAN. B. MAN. C. WAN. D. PAN. Do you know the answer? Correct answer: C. WAN. Explanation: Option C is correct because a wide area network, WAN, is specifically designed to connect multiple geographically distant locations, such as offices in different countries. WANs enable these distributed sites to function as one cohesive network, allowing resource sharing and centralized management across long distances. Option A, LAN, is incorrect because a local area network is limited to a single location or nearby buildings, such as a single office building or campus. It cannot span multiple countries by definition. Option B, MAN, is incorrect because a metropolitan area network typically covers only a city or large campus, not multiple countries. MANs are larger than LANs, but smaller than WANs. Option D, PAN, is incorrect because a personal area network connects devices centered around a single person within a very limited range, typically 10 meters or less, such as connecting a smartphone to wireless earbuds and a smartwatch. 23. A technician needs to identify and label which of the many unmarked cables in a wiring closet connects to a specific wall jack in an office. Which networking tool would be most appropriate for this task? A. Cable tester. B. Loopback plug. C. Toner probe. D. Wi-Fi analyzer. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer: C. Toner probe. Explanation: Option C is correct because a toner probe, tone generator, and probe is specifically designed to trace and identify cables. The technician would connect the tone generator to the wall jack in the office, then use the probe in the wiring closet to detect which cable carries the tone signal, allowing them to identify the correct cable among many similar ones. Option A, cable tester, is incorrect because while a cable tester can verify if a cable is working correctly and properly wired, it requires access to both ends of an already identified cable. It cannot help identify which specific cable among many is connected to a particular location. Option B, loopback plug, is incorrect because a loopback plug tests the functionality of network ports by routing outgoing signals back as incoming signals. It does not help identify or trace cables through walls or ceilings. Option D, TEN Wi-Fi analyzer, is incorrect because a Wi-Fi analyzer is used to analyze wireless networks, signal strength, and channel usage. It has no capability to identify physical cable connections. 24. A network administrator needs to create several custom-length Cat6 Ethernet cables to connect new workstations to network switches. Which tool should be used to attach RJ45 connectors to the ends of these cables? A, cable stripper. B, punch-down tool. C, crimper. D, network tap. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C, crimper. Explanation. Option C is correct because a crimper is the specific tool designed to attach RJ45 connectors to the ends of Ethernet cables. It presses the connector's pins into the cable's wires, creating a secure connection necessary for proper network functionality. Option A, cable stripper, is incorrect because while a cable stripper is used in the cable-making process to remove the outer jacket of the cable and expose the internal wires, it doesn't attach the connector to the cable. That's the crimper's job. Option B, punch-down tool, is incorrect because a punch-down tool is used to terminate wires into fixed infrastructure like patch panels and keystone jacks, not to attach RJ45 connectors to the ends of cables. Option D, network tap, is incorrect because a network tap is used to monitor network traffic by creating a copy of data packets without interrupting the flow. It has no role in cable creation or termination. 25. A technician needs to run network cabling above a drop ceiling that is used as an air return for the building's HVAC system. Which of the following cable types should be used to comply with fire safety regulations? A, Cat6 UTP. B, Cat6 STP. C, plenum-rated cable. D, direct burial cable. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C, plenum-rated cable. Explanation. Option C is correct because plenum-rated cable is specifically designed for use in air handling spaces, such as those above drop ceilings. Plenum cables have a special jacket that produces less toxic smoke and resists flame spread when burned, which is critical for fire safety in spaces where air circulates throughout a building. Option A, Cat6 UTP, is incorrect because standard UTP cable, without plenum rating, would not meet fire safety codes for installation in air handling spaces, regardless of its category rating. Option B, Cat6 STP, is incorrect because while shielded twisted pair provides better protection against electromagnetic interference, the shielding doesn't address the fire safety requirements for plenum spaces. Option D, direct burial cable, is incorrect because direct burial cable is designed with additional water resistance and protective coating for underground installation, not for fire safety in air handling spaces. 26. A network administrator needs to install cabling in a manufacturing facility with heavy machinery that generates significant electromagnetic interference. The cabling will connect workstations to network switches with a maximum distance of 75 meters. Which type of cable would be most appropriate for this environment? A. Cat5 eUTP, B. Cat6 ASTP, C. Coaxial, D. Fiber optic. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Cat6 ASTP. Explanation. Option B is correct because Cat6A STP, shielded twisted pair, provides protection against electromagnetic interference, EMI, through its metal shielding, while still supporting high-speed data transmission up to 10 Gbps for the full 75-meter distance required. Option A, Cat5E UTP, is incorrect because unshielded twisted pair UTP cabling lacks the metal shielding necessary to protect against the significant EMI present in a manufacturing environment with heavy machinery. Option C, coaxial, is incorrect because while coaxial cable has good EMI resistance, it's not commonly used for modern Ethernet networks and would lack the speed capabilities of Cat6A in this scenario. Option D, fiber optic, is incorrect because while fiber optic cable would be immune to EMI and would be a valid technical solution, it would be significantly more expensive and complex to install than Cat6A STP, which would adequately address the requirements with less cost and complexity. 27. A technician is upgrading a laptop with additional memory. The current laptop has 4 GB of DDR4 RAM installed and has 1 empty memory slot. Upon opening the access panel, the technician notices that the RAM modules are much smaller than those used in desktop computers. What type of RAM module should the technician purchase for this upgrade? A. DIMM, B. SODIMM, C. ECC RAM, D. Virtual RAM. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. SODIMM. Explanation. Option B is correct because SODIMM, a small outline, dual inline memory module, is the compact form of RAM designed specifically for laptops and other space-constrained devices. SODIMMs are physically smaller than standard desktop DIMMs, but use the same memory technologies. Option A, DIMM, is incorrect because DIMMs are the larger form factor. RAM modules used in desktop computers. They are physically too large to fit in laptop memory slots. Option C, ECC RAM, is incorrect because ECC, error correcting code, refers to the error checking capability of the RAM, not its physical size or form factor. While ECC RAM exists in both DIMM and SODIMM form factors, the key issue in this scenario is the physical size of the module needed for a laptop. Option D, Virtual RAM, is incorrect because Virtual RAM is not a physical memory module, but rather a portion of the storage drive that the operating system uses, as if it were RAM when physical RAM is insufficient. It's a software concept, not hardware that can be purchased and installed. 28. A technician needs to install RAM in a new desktop computer to enable dual-channel mode for maximum performance. The motherboard has 4 RAM slots colored black and blue, 2 of each. How should the technician install 2 identical 8 GB DDR4 modules to properly enable dual-channel operation? A. Install both modules in the 2 black slots. B. Install both modules in the 2 blue slots. C. Install 1 module in the first black slot and 1 in the first blue slot. D. Install 1 module in a black slot and 1 in a blue slot of the same pair. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, D. Install 1 module in a black slot and 1 in a blue slot of the same pair. Explanation. Option D is correct because dual-channel operation typically requires installing memory modules in matched pairs across different channels. When the motherboard has color-coded slots, in this case, black and blue, you should install the modules in matching slots of different colors, usually designated as pairs, such as A1 and B1. This configuration allows the memory controller to access both modules simultaneously across two separate channels. Option A, install both modules in the two black slots, is incorrect because installing both modules in the same colored slots would likely place them both in the same channel, resulting in single-channel operation rather than the desired dual-channel performance. Option B, install both modules in the two blue slots, is incorrect because both in blue slots is incorrect for the same reason as option A. Placing both modules in the same colored slots would likely result in single-channel operation. Option C, install one module in the first black slot and one in the first blue slot, is incorrect because first black and first blue might be correct on some motherboards, but is less specific than option D. Without knowing which slots are paired together, simply choosing the first of each color might not result in the correct pairing for dual-channel operation. 29. A video editing professional needs a storage solution that provides both improved performance and protection against data loss in case of drive failure. The workstation has space for 4 identical hard drives. Which RAID configuration would best meet these requirements? A. RAID 0. B. RAID 1. C. RAID 5. D. RAID 10. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, D. RAID 10. Explanation. Option D is correct because RAID 10, also known as RAID 1 plus 0, combines the performance benefits of RAID 0 with the redundancy of RAID 1. It stripes data across mirrored pairs, providing both improved read-write performance and protection against drive failures. For a video editing professional who needs both speed and data protection, RAID 10 offers the best balance. Option A, RAID 0, is incorrect because while it would provide excellent performance through striping, it offers no redundancy. If any single drive fails, all data in the array would be lost, which doesn't meet the requirement for protection against data loss. Option B, RAID 1, is incorrect because while it provides excellent data protection through mirroring, it doesn't provide the same level of performance improvement as RAID 10, particularly for write operations. Given that video editing involves working with large files, the performance advantage of RAID 10 would be significant. Option C, RAID 5, is incorrect because although it offers a balance of performance and redundancy, it has slower write performance than RAID 10 due to parity calculations. For video editing with frequent large file operations, RAID 10 would provide better overall performance while still offering good redundancy. 30. A technician needs to install a high-performance storage device in a new gaming PC. The motherboard supports both SATA and NVMe interfaces. Which of the following storage options would provide the best performance? A. 7,200 revolutions per minute. SATA hard drive. B. SATA SSD. C. NVMe M2 SSD. D. External USB 3.0 SSD. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. NVMe M2 SSD. Explanation. Option C is correct because an NVMe M2 SSD offers significantly faster read/write speeds than any other option listed. NVMe was designed specifically for SSDs and utilizes the PCIe bus, bypassing the limitations of the SATA interface. For a gaming PC where the fast load times are important, an NVMe drive provides the best performance with speeds potentially 5-7 times faster than SATA SSDs. Option A, 7,200 revolutions per minute. SATA hard drive is incorrect because traditional spinning hard drives, even at 7,200 revolutions per minute, are substantially slower than any SSD due to mechanical limitations. They have much higher latency and lower throughput compared to solid-state storage. Option B, SATA SSD, is incorrect because while SATA SSDs offer better performance than traditional hard drives, they are limited by the SATA interface's maximum throughput of about 550 to 600 MB per S. This is significantly slower than what NVMe drives can achieve, 3,000 to 7,000 MB per S, depending on the generation. Option D, external USB 3.0 SSD, is incorrect because external drives connected via USB 3.0 have performance limitations imposed by the USB interface and the overhead of external connections. This makes them slower than internal drives, particularly NVMe SSDs. Struggling with your IT certification exams? We've all been there. Welcome to MyITCerts.com, your ultimate resource for IT exam success. Find over 15,000 plus questions and answers. Join our thriving community of over 10,000 plus active students and the impressive 100% success rate with our premium exam support. Visit MyITCerts.com today and take first step towards guaranteed success. 31. A user reports that their smartphone only lasts about 4 hours on a full charge when it used to last all day. Looking at the battery settings shows that the maximum capacity is at 74%. What is the most likely cause of this issue? A. A software virus is draining the battery. B. The charging port is damaged. C. Background apps are using excessive resources. D. Normal battery degradation from age and use. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, D. Normal battery degradation from age and use. Explanation. Option D is correct because a battery showing 74% of its original maximum capacity indicates normal degradation over time. Lithium-ion batteries naturally lose capacity with charge cycles and age, which directly affects how long the device can run on a single charge. Option A, a software virus is draining the battery, is incorrect because while malware could cause battery drain, it wouldn't be reflected in the maximum capacity percentage, which specifically measures physical battery health. Option B, the charging port is damaged, is incorrect because charging port damage would affect the ability to charge the device, not the battery's maximum capacity or runtime. Option C, background apps are using excessive resources, is incorrect because while background apps can cause increased battery drain, they don't affect the maximum capacity percentage, which indicates physical battery degradation, rather than software-related drain. 32. A technician is troubleshooting a PC that won't boot. The motherboard has both the 24-pin main power connector and an 8-pin CPU power connector. The technician notices only the 24-pin connector is attached. What is the most likely result? A. The system will boot normally, but the CPU will run at reduced performance. B. The system will not boot at all. C. The system will boot but shut down under heavy CPU load. D. The system will boot but won't recognize all RAM modules. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. The system will not boot at all. Explanation. Option B is correct because modern motherboards require both the 24-pin main power connector and the CPU power connector, 4 or 8-pin, to function properly. Without the CPU power connector, the system cannot boot as the CPU won't receive adequate power. Option A. The system will boot normally, but the CPU will run at reduced performance, is incorrect because the system won't boot at all without the CPU power connector, not run at reduced performance. Option C, the system will boot but shut down under heavy CPU load, is incorrect because the system cannot even boot to reach a state where CPU load could cause shutdown. Option D, the system will boot but won't recognize all RAM modules, is incorrect because RAM recognition issues aren't directly related to missing CPU power. The system must first boot to recognize RAM. 33. A technician is troubleshooting a gaming PC that randomly shuts down during gameplay, but runs fine during regular office tasks. The PC has a high-end graphics card and a 450W power supply. What is the most likely cause of this issue? A. The CPU is overheating. B. The power supply has insufficient wattage. C. The graphics card driver is corrupted. D. The motherboard has a faulty power circuit. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. The power supply has insufficient wattage. Explanation. Option B is correct because high-end graphics cards draw significantly more power during gameplay than during basic tasks. A 450W power supply is likely insufficient for a gaming PC with a high-end GPU, causing the system to shut down when power demands exceed what the PSU can provide. Option A, the CPU is overheating, is incorrect because while CPU overheating can cause shutdowns, the symptoms would typically include thermal throttling before shutdown and might occur during any CPU-intensive task, not just gaming. Option C, the graphics card driver is corrupted, is incorrect because corrupted graphics drivers typically cause graphical glitches, crashes, or blue screens, not clean shutdown specifically during high-power draw situations. Option D, the motherboard has a faulty power circuit, is incorrect because a faulty motherboard power circuit would likely cause problems consistently rather than only during high-power demand scenarios. 34. A technician needs to replace a power supply in a computer being shipped from the United States to Europe. Which of the following should the technician verify before installing the new power supply? A. That the power supply has the correct form factor. B. That the voltage selector switch is set to 230V. C. That the power supply has a 20-pin motherboard connector. D. That the power supply has a higher wattage rating than the previous one. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. That the voltage selector switch is set to 230V. Explanation. Option B is correct because Europe uses 220-240V power, while the United States uses 110-120V. The technician needs to ensure the voltage selector switch, if present, is set to 230V for European power standards. Option A, that the power supply has the correct form factor, is incorrect because while form factor is important for physical fit, it's not specifically related to international power differences. Option C, that the power supply has a 20-pin motherboard connector, is incorrect because modern motherboards use 24-pin connectors, and this has nothing to do with international power differences. Option D, that the power supply has a higher wattage rating than the previous one, is incorrect because while having adequate wattage is important, this isn't specifically related to international power differences. 35. A graphic design company needs to replace their printer. They frequently print documents with complex graphics and need precise color reproduction. Which type of printer driver should they prioritize when setting up the new device? A. PCL driver. B. PostScript driver. C. Universal printer driver. D. Windows built-in driver. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. PostScript driver. Explanation. Option B is correct because PostScript drivers are specifically designed for better handling of graphics, design work, and publishing. They provide more consistent output across different devices and are the industry standard for graphic design applications. Option A, PCL driver, is incorrect because PCL, Printer Command Language, is more efficient for text-heavy documents and basic business graphics, but doesn't handle complex graphics as well as PostScript. Option C, Universal Printer Driver, is incorrect because universal printer drivers provide basic functionality across multiple printer models, but often lack the specialized features needed for graphic design work. Option D, Windows Built-in Driver, is incorrect because Windows built-in drivers typically provide only basic functionality and may not include the advanced color management and graphic handling features needed for design work. 36. A technician is setting up a new laser printer in an office. After unboxing the device, what should be the technician's first step before plugging in the power cord? A. Install the printer drivers on the office computers. B. Configure the network settings on the printer. C. Check for and remove all shipping materials and tape. D. Load paper into the paper tray. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. C. Check for and remove all shipping materials and tape. Explanation. Option C is correct because failing to remove shipping materials, like tape, protective inserts, and shipping locks, before powering on a printer can cause mechanical damage or printing errors. This is a critical first step in the setup process. Option A, install the printer drivers on the office computers, is incorrect because installing drivers should be done after the printer is physically set up and powered on. Option B, configure the network settings on the printer, is incorrect because network configuration should be done after ensuring the printer is physically ready and powered on. Option D, load paper into the paper tray, is incorrect because while loading paper is important, it should be done after removing all shipping materials to ensure proper paper path operation. 37. A user reports that their laser printer is producing pages with black streaks running down the length of each page. The streaks appear in the same place on every page. Which component most likely needs to be replaced? A. Toner cartridge. B. Imaging drum. C. Fuser assembly. D. Pickup rollers. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Imaging drum. Explanation. Option B is correct because black streaks in consistent locations are typically caused by scratches or damage to the imaging drum. When the drum is damaged, it can't properly hold the electrostatic image and causes toner to be applied incorrectly in the same position on each page. Option A, toner cartridge, is incorrect because while low toner can cause faded prints, it doesn't typically cause streaks in the same position on every page. Option C, fuser assembly, is incorrect because fuser problems typically cause smudging, wrinkling, or toner not properly adhering to the paper. It would smear when touched. Not consistent streaks. Option D, pickup rollers, is incorrect because pickup rollers affect paper feeding, not the image quality once the paper is in the printer. 38. A technician notices that an office's thermal receipt printer is producing receipts with faded text in some areas. Which maintenance procedure should be performed first? A. Replace the thermal paper roll. B. Clean the heating element with isopropyl alcohol. C. Replace the thermal ribbon. D. Adjust the printer's contrast settings. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Clean the heating element with isopropyl alcohol. Explanation. Option B is correct because faded or uneven printing on a thermal printer is commonly caused by dust, debris, or residue on the thermal printhead, heating element. Cleaning the printhead with isopropyl alcohol is the first step to resolve this issue. Option A, replace the thermal paper roll, is incorrect because while paper quality can affect print quality, faded areas on the receipt suggest a dirty printhead rather than a paper issue. Option C, replace the thermal ribbon, is incorrect because direct thermal printers, receipt printers, don't use ribbons. They use heat-sensitive paper that changes color when heated. Option D, adjust the printer's contrast settings, is incorrect because while adjusting contrast settings might improve print darkness, it wouldn't address uneven fading, which indicates a physical issue with the printhead. 39. A law firm needs to store highly sensitive client data while maintaining complete control over the security settings and hardware. The firm has concerns about sharing any infrastructure with other organizations. Which cloud model would best meet these requirements? A. Public cloud. B. Hybrid cloud. C. Private cloud. D. Community cloud. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Private cloud. Explanation. Option C is correct because a private cloud provides exclusive use of cloud infrastructure for a single organization. This gives the law firm complete control over security settings and hardware, while ensuring their sensitive client data isn't stored on shared infrastructure with other organizations. Option A, public cloud, is incorrect because a public cloud involves shared infrastructure with other customers, which doesn't meet the requirement for complete control and separation from other organizations. Option B, hybrid cloud, is incorrect because a hybrid cloud still uses some public cloud resources, which wouldn't satisfy the firm's concerns about sharing infrastructure. Option D, community cloud, is incorrect because a community cloud shares infrastructure among multiple organizations, even if they have similar requirements, which doesn't address the law firm's need for complete separation from other organizations. 40. A small retail business operates an e-commerce website that experiences significant traffic increases during holiday seasons, but has much lower traffic during the rest of the year. The business wants to minimize costs while ensuring the website remains responsive during peak shopping periods. Which cloud characteristic would be most valuable for this business? A. Metered utilization. B. High availability. C. Rapid elasticity. D. File synchronization. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Rapid elasticity. Explanation. Option C is correct because rapid elasticity allows cloud resources to quickly scale up during high-demand periods, holiday shopping, and scale down during slower periods. This ensures the website remains responsive during traffic spikes while minimizing costs when those resources aren't needed. Option A, metered utilization, is incorrect because while metered utilization, pay-as-you-go pricing, is beneficial, it doesn't specifically address the need to handle variable traffic loads. Elasticity is the key characteristic for this scenario. Option B, high availability, is incorrect because while high availability is important for any business website, it doesn't specifically address the variable resource needs described in the scenario. Option D, file synchronization, is incorrect because file synchronization keeps files consistent across devices, but doesn't help manage variable website traffic loads. 41. A small accounting firm needs to continue using specialized tax software that only runs on Windows XP, but they want to upgrade their workstations to Windows 11. Which is the best solution for this scenario? A. Install both Windows XP and Windows 11 in a dual boot configuration. B. Run the Windows XP application through compatibility mode in Windows 11. C. Create a Windows XP virtual machine on each Windows 11 workstation. D. Keep one workstation running Windows XP for the tax software. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Create a Windows XP virtual machine on each Windows 11 workstation. Explanation. Option C is correct because creating a Windows XP virtual machine allows the firm to run the legacy tax software in its compatible environment while still upgrading to Windows 11 for all other tasks. This provides the security benefits of a modern operating system while maintaining access to the legacy application. Option A. Install both Windows XP and Windows 11 in a dual boot configuration is incorrect, because dual booting requires restarting the computer to switch between operating systems, which is inefficient for daily use and still leaves the system vulnerable when running the outdated Windows XP. Option B. Run the Windows XP application through compatibility mode in Windows 11 is incorrect, because compatibility mode often doesn't work for complex applications, especially those designed for Windows XP, and wouldn't provide the same level of reliability as a virtual machine. Option D. Keep one workstation running. Windows XP for the tax software is incorrect, because keeping a single Windows XP workstation creates a bottleneck. Only one person could use it at a time, and maintains an unsecured, outdated system on the network, which is a security risk. 42. A security researcher needs to analyze suspicious files that might contain malware. Which virtual machine configuration would be most appropriate for this task? A. A VM with shared folders enabled and connected to the Internet. B. A VM with no network connection and no shared folders with the host. C. A VM connected to the Internet through a NAT connection. D. A VM with bridged networking and antivirus software installed. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. B. A VM with no network connection and no shared folders with the host. Explanation. Option B is correct because isolating the VM completely from both the network and the host system provides the safest environment for malware analysis. With no network connection, the malware can't spread or communicate with command servers, and without shared folders, it can't infect the host system. Option A VM with shared folders enabled and connected to the Internet, is incorrect, because shared folders create a direct path for malware to potentially escape the VM and infect the host system, while Internet access allows malware to communicate with external servers or spread to other systems. Option C, a VM connected to the Internet through a NAT connection, is incorrect because any Internet connection, including NAT, could allow malware to communicate with command and control servers or download additional payloads. Option D, a VM with bridged networking and antivirus software installed, is incorrect because bridged networking gives the VM direct access to the network, creating an even greater risk of malware spreading to other systems, and antivirus software might interfere with proper analysis of the malware's behavior. 43. A technician is troubleshooting a desktop computer that won't power on. The technician immediately opens the case to check if the power supply connections are loose. Which step of the troubleshooting methodology did the technician skip? A. Establish a theory of probable cause. B. Test the theory to determine the cause. C. Identify the problem. D. Establish a plan of action. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Identify the problem. Explanation. Option C is correct because the technician jumped directly to checking a specific component without first gathering information about the problem. Step 1. Identify the problem. Requires gathering information from the user about when the issue started, what symptoms are present, and if any changes were made before the problem occurred. Option A, establish a theory of probable cause, is incorrect because the technician did establish a theory that loose power connections might be the cause, though they did so without properly gathering information first. Option B, test the theory to determine the cause, is incorrect because the technician was attempting to test a theory by checking the power connections. Option D, establish a plan of action, is incorrect because the technician had an implied plan to check the power connections, though they developed this plan without properly identifying the problem first. 44. A user reports that their laptop battery drains quickly. A technician checks the running processes and discovers several background applications consuming resources. Before making changes, what should the technician do next, according to the CompTIA A troubleshooting methodology? A. Remove all unnecessary applications. B. Create a backup of the system. C. Establish a plan of action to resolve the problem. D. Verify full system functionality. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Establish a plan of action to resolve the problem. Explanation. Option C is correct because after identifying the problem, battery drains quickly, and determining the cause, background applications consuming resources, the next step in the methodology is to establish a plan of action. The technician should plan what changes to make and consider their potential effects before implementing any solution. Option A, remove all unnecessary applications, is incorrect because removing applications would be implementing a solution, which should only happen after a proper plan is established. Step 5. Option B, create a backup of the system, is incorrect because while creating a backup might be part of the plan, it's not the next methodological step. Creating a backup would be part of Step 4, establish a plan, or Step 5, implement the solution. Option D, verify full system functionality, is incorrect because verifying system functionality comes after implementing a solution, not before. Step 6. 45. A technician is troubleshooting a computer that randomly displays blue screens with different error messages each time. The system sometimes fails to boot, and applications occasionally crash for no apparent reason. What is the most likely cause of these symptoms? A. Failing power supply. B. Failing RAM. C. Overheating. CPU. D. Corrupted operating system. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Failing RAM. Explanation. Option B is correct because random blue screens with different error messages each time is a classic symptom of faulty RAM. Memory problems cause inconsistent errors because different areas of memory are used at different times, leading to unpredictable failures. Option A, failing power supply, is incorrect because while power supply issues can cause system instability, they typically manifest as sudden shutdowns or reboots, rather than varied blue screen errors. Option C, overheating CPU, is incorrect because an overheating CPU would typically cause system shutdowns or performance throttling, especially under load, with more consistent symptoms. Option D, corrupted operating system, is incorrect because while OS corruption can cause blue screens, they would typically show similar error messages related to the corrupted files, not different errors each time. 46. A computer powers on but shows no display on the monitor. The fans spin, and the power lights are on, but the system beeps 3 times, pauses, then beeps 3 times again repeatedly. What should the technician check first? A. Replace the CMOS battery. B. Test the RAM modules. C. Check the video card. D. Update the BIOS. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Test the RAM modules. Explanation. Option B is correct, because a pattern of 3 beeps repeated is a common post-beep code for memory, nor RAM. Problems on many BIOS systems. Given this specific beep patterns, checking the RAM modules by reseating them or testing them individually would be the most appropriate first step. Option A, replace the CMOS battery, is incorrect because while a failed CMOS battery can cause boot issues, it typically results in date-time reset problems or BIOS setting losses, not the specific beep code described. Option C, check the video card, is incorrect because while video card issues can cause display problems, the specific beep code mentioned typically indicates RAM issues, not video problems. Option D, update the BIOS, is incorrect because updating the BIOS wouldn't be an appropriate first troubleshooting step for a system that won't boot and is showing specific error beep codes. 47. A technician is troubleshooting a laptop that is extremely slow in opening files or launching applications. While working, the technician notices a repetitive clicking sound coming from the laptop. What should the technician do? First, A. Run chhkds to repair bad sectors on the drive. B. Immediately back up critical data. C. Defragment the hard drive to improve performance. D. Update the hard drive firmware. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Immediately back up critical data. Explanation. Option B is correct because clicking sounds from a hard drive typically indicate imminent mechanical failure, often called the click of death. In this situation, backing up critical data must be the first priority before the drive fails completely and data becomes unrecoverable. Option A, run chhkdesk to repair bad sectors on the drive, is incorrect because running chhkdesk might further stress a failing drive and could accelerate complete failure before data is saved. Option C, defragment the hard drive to improve performance, is incorrect because defragmentation won't solve a mechanical failure and would put additional stress on an already failing drive. Option D, update the hard drive firmware, is incorrect because firmware updates won't fix physical mechanical drive issues, and attempting an update on a failing drive risks complete data loss before backup. 48. A technician is troubleshooting a desktop computer with a RAID 5 array containing 4 drives. The RAID management software reports that the array is in degraded mode. What is the current state of the data and what action should be taken? A. All data is lost and the array needs to be rebuilt from scratch. B. Data is intact but at risk. Replace the failed drive immediately. C. Data is partially corrupted. Run data recovery software. D. Data is secure. The system has automatically switched to RAID 1. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Data is intact but at risk. Replace the failed drive immediately. Explanation. Option B is correct because a RAID 5 array in degraded mode indicates that one drive has failed, but the array is still operational using parity data to reconstruct information from the failed drive. The data is currently intact, but is at risk because any additional drive failure would cause complete data loss. The failed drive should be replaced immediately to allow the array to rebuild. Option A, all data is lost and the array needs to be rebuilt from scratch, is incorrect because data is not lost in a degraded RAID 5 array with only one failed drive. RAID 5 can survive a single drive failure. Option C, data is partially corrupted, run data recovery software, is incorrect because the data in a degraded RAID 5 array isn't corrupted. It's fully accessible but at risk. Option D, data is secure. The system has automatically switched to RAID 1, is incorrect because RAID arrays don't automatically change levels when failures occur. The system remains in RAID 5, just in a degraded state. 49. A user connects their laptop to a monitor for the first time. The monitor's power light is on, amber color, but the screen remains black. The laptop display is working normally. What should the technician check first? A. Replace the video cable. B. Update the graphics drivers. C. Check the input source selection on the monitor. D. Change the resolution settings on the laptop. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Check the input source selection on the monitor. Explanation. Option C is correct because an amber power light typically indicates the monitor is powered on, but not receiving a signal. The most common and easiest issue to fix is having the wrong input source selected. Before trying more complex solutions, check if the monitor is set to the correct input, HDMI, DisplayPort, VGA, etc., that matches how the laptop is connected. Option A, replace the video cable, is incorrect because replacing the cable should only be done after verifying simpler issues like input source selection. Option B, update the graphics drivers, is incorrect because driver updates are less likely to be the issue when connecting to an external display for the first time, especially when the laptop's own display works fine. Option D, change the resolution settings on the laptop, is incorrect because resolution settings wouldn't typically cause a completely black screen. They might cause image quality issues, but not a complete lack of signal. 50. A projector displays an image for about 15 minutes during a presentation, then suddenly shuts down. The temperature warning light is illuminated. What is the most likely cause of this issue? A. The projector bulb has reached the end of its life cycle. B. The projector's air filters are clogged with dust. C. The power outlet is not providing stable power. D. The video cable connection is loose. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. The projector's air filters are clogged with dust. Explanation. Option B is correct because a projector shutting down with the temperature warning light illuminated indicates overheating, which is commonly caused by clogged air filters or blocked vents that restrict airflow. This prevents proper cooling, causing the projector to automatically shut down to prevent damage. Option A, the projector bulb has reached the end of its life cycle, is incorrect because while a failing bulb would cause display issues, it typically wouldn't trigger a temperature warning or cause the projector to shut down after a specific time period. Option C, the power outlet is not providing stable power, is incorrect because unstable power would likely cause immediate issues or random shutdowns, not a consistent shutdown after a specific operating time. Option D, the video cable connection is loose, is incorrect because a loose video cable would cause image problems or flickering, not overheating or shutdown with temperature warnings. You have reached the end of our question set. For the complete exam preparation experience, visit us at MyITCerts.com. where you find thousands more practice questions and comprehensive study guides. You can study completely free using our study materials and questions, and ace your exams with confidence. Thank you for studying with us today. See you in the next video.